And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Holy Crap, the Vlogcast. Vlogcast that comes from a skeptical point of view to answer some of the questions of why. The Vlogcast started as a combination of spite and the Streisand effect because we needed somewhere to talk, and this was just what the doctor ordered. Cheap. Part of this is to follow through with the old adage, sometimes the journey is more important than the destination. I'm your main host. I'm known as Shujin Tribble all over the place. You can find me pretty much everywhere under that name, Shujin. Let me go ahead and introduce you to what should turn into a slowly growing collection of people tonight with me, I hope. I'll explain in a second. From the very frigid heart of the Midwest of the U.S., good evening, Brigid.
Good evening.
It is cold out that way, isn't it?
It's cold. We have snow on the ground, and I'm in my little snuggie. So, yeah.
I'll go with that, and I will try very hard not to make any kind of innuendos about that. Which, unfortunately, I think damn meta humor. God damn it. And from over the water, where there is no border wall between us because there's just the water, from Paris, France, good morning, Joseph. Except that your microphone is not on. It's still not on.
How's that?
There
That's
you go.
better.
Good morning.
Okay. Good morning.
Glad you're able to make it just in the nick of time. Quite.
It's a miracle I'm here. I was awake until like 3 o'clock in the morning by no choice of my own.
Well, I'm glad you were able to make it.
Yeah,
Well,
me too.
Yeah, actually, me too.
See, now you got me wondering. I mean, 3 o'clock in the morning. The World Cup isn't going on, so I don't know what's kept me up.
Well, server emergencies have to be fixed while
Yes,
nobody else is working.
that would. Yeah, code waits for no man, woman, beast, or anything like that. So,
Well, it has to wait for them to stop working, and so I can start working on it.
Huh.
And that usually sometimes takes all night. But anyways, it's neither here nor there.
well, in that case, I will send you some coffee. I won't send you a goddamn drop. This is mine.
I'm covered. Thank you, sir.
Of course you are. Anyway, so good evening and good morning to all. Hope you guys are doing well for yourselves. There's a little bit of coffee that's left. Fortunately, I did not scorch this on the stovetop. I kind of forgot about it for a little while, so it's a little supercharged because it's a little not as much liquid in it as there would have otherwise. But anyway, you get the idea.
Let the pot sit for 30 seconds after the water boils.
Yeah, see, the problem is I left the pot going on the stovetop longer than it needed to warm up. So
Quite a bit longer.
Yeah, a little bit. So from this much water, there was about this much water. So yeah, I have espresso without meaning to.
Concentrated water.
A little bit.
Very
Little bit.
thick water. Does it thicken?
That's partly because of the hot chocolate mix in it. Yes, I do hot chocolate. I don't do demi-tasse because I had demi-tasse once when I was a kid because Italian family. I ain't doing that again. Nope. Nope. I know better.
By the way, is that the topic for today's show?
No, not by a long shot. Although, no, not just yet. Anyway, so nice to have everybody over here. Of course, for those of you that are watching live, thank you. It's good to have you guys with us. If you are watching live, of course, please feel free to take advantage of the live chat system. I don't remember which side it's on for you guys from the camera. I think it's on this side. I could be wrong, but if I'm right, cool for me. If I'm wrong, I don't care. It's on my screen over here. So you can all just piss off as it is. Stephanie's over there. Fearless tripping. Hi. Yeah, so it's going to be right side. Now, see, the problem of it is right side to you or right side to me, and it doesn't really much matter because I have my right side is this side of me, but on your side, it could be on that. I don't know, whatever the case. Now, see, I don't know where the hell everybody is at the moment. Joey is probably holed up frozen a little bit. Not really frozen, just like cold and sleeping it off. And I don't mind that whatsoever. Dalan, we're still waiting to hear what's going on with his computer. We've thought that he might be able to, call in with his phone. Obviously, that's not been happening. UnrenownedTech said he was coming. I don't know where he is right now. We'll figure it out later. But it will be what it is. Now, let me explain why I'm kind of a little sad that Dalan's not with us right now. And Dalan, if you're listening afterwards, screw you, man. No, not really. I know full well that we're waiting for Dalan to, be able to afford putting together his new computer, because his current machine is got like hardware level blue screens, we think. So
it's dead.
It probably is, and I feel bad for that. I actually do. He knows full well, but it's going to be what it's going to be. Now, the reason why I was saying I'm a little sad that he's not here is because I did stop at the store on the way home because I needed to get some stuff, like blue cheese dressing, for instance. Yes, I needed that.
Ugh.
Don't ask. You know what? Piss off. It's for me, not you.
Good. You can have all the blue cheese dressing.
That's fine. You're just upset because when you start getting a little bit on the top of your lip, you have everybody looking at you funny, and you don't want to be embarrassed like that anymore, right? We're gonna go with that. Anyway,
hey, and that blue cheese dressing is important. I mean, that's how penicillin came about.
But it's still gross.
You know what? Fuck you. It's mine, and I don't care. You don't like it? Fine. Piss off. I don't care. Anyway, the reason why, back on track, the reason why I'm sad, shut up. The reason why I'm sad that Dalan isn't here is that I actually did pick up Arrogant Bastard Ale. I know. I've tried many different beers, and nothing's really done it for me. But I figured, you know what? It was available as a single. I'll try once. I mean, I've been known to try, what the hell was it that I tried? It was Guinness. I'd tried multiple times. So, and it turns out that, okay, I can deal with that. So, I actually did get a legitimate mug, a very large mug, because it actually fits inside. So, I have just enough room in there.
Is that the topic for today's show?
No, God damn it! No, it's not. But I have to pour, and I have to talk.
I don't have much to contribute, if so. Don't
worry about it. You're gonna do just fine. Anyway, let me get everything rolling over here because I need my timer, because that was one thing I didn't pull out. There we go. So, with 5 minutes on the clock, let me at least get everything rolling over here. Your 5-minute freestyle starts right now. This week, I've titled it "Armed," and there is the old expression that forewarned is forearmed. What that's got to do with everything has got a lot to do with everything. Actually, we know full well over here in the United States that there is the small problem, and I say small in very large quotation marks, the small problem of so many people who think the Second Amendment is the end-all be-all of everything that should be, because it's the most important right that we have in America, because America. And it pisses me off every damn time, because people simply don't care to think about it. There's a piece that I've kind of been pitching to people recently, and I've been very good. I've been very good on my Facebook feed talking with people, not arguing, talking. Now, yes, you can say, and rightly so, if I'm putting out a contrary idea, that I am engaged in argument. I know, but just humor me a second. I'm an old man. Shut up. What I've been pitching out to people is, if they want to go ahead and say that people should have whatever weaponry it is that they want, they should have it. As an example, I had a small discussion with somebody because there was a picture meme that's now moving through the circles, and it says no civilian needs an AR-15. with a picture of an AR-15. And after that, it says they need an M4. For those of you that don't know what an M4 is, it is basically a lighter weight version of the M16. I'm glossing over a lot of different dissimilarities, but you get the idea. It is a rifle that has an effective range of 500 yards. It can fire upwards of 700 to 900 rounds per minute. Now, admittedly, you can't shoot that many because you can't fit that many into a receiver at the bottom, or a clip, or whatever the hell it is they call it. You can usually get 30 at a time, or possibly more. But to put it nicely, it's a weapon that's specifically designed for killing many people at a long range. Let's face it, if you were 500 meters away from somebody else, would you nominally be able to see them well? I'm going to guess not, because most people don't recognize how far 500 meters actually is. But anyway, so I kind of put it out there that who needs a weapon of warfare in a city? Well, I got somebody that went ahead and answered me back. Every single person in the world who isn't afraid of an inanimate object and wants to legally protect themselves and their families from any threat needs this, quote, weapon of warfare. Oh, thank you. Thank you ever so much for opening the door. What did I answer them with? And I am actually directly quoting my direct quoted answer. Does that include people of color being racially targeted by corrupt police? Shouldn't they protect themselves from the, quote, any threat? You speak of legalese, yet you're describing mob law, extrajudicial execution sanctioned by the state. Which should it be? A society of laws or vigilantism? And what is the purpose of a weapon of warfare in a civilian environment, except a declaration that one would consider the people around themselves as potential enemies that should be killed without the benefit of trial? I'm not afraid of objects, only what they can be used for in the wrong hands and in the wrong environment. I found out just this past week. My old high school has decided that they are going to have armed guards in the high school for protection, or so they're claiming it. Earlier this year, in the neighboring town, they had armed protection in their school, and they left their weapon in a bathroom. This wasn't just any armed guard. This was a police officer. So, to use an expression, I ask you, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a society of laws or of mob rule? This isn't the Wild West anymore. You want to have these kinds of weapons of warfare, keep them where they deserve to be kept. In an armory where trained personnel have access to them when needed. That does not include a school. Because, as somebody else once put it, target-rich environments are not somewhere you want to be indiscriminately shooting. Think about that a while. This is episode 249 on the docket, Your Honor. Power corrupts. We've had way too many situations where we have had, most especially, political organizations, political figures, and high societal figures, specifically religious figures, who have, well, shown themselves to be incredibly corrupt because they're in positions of power and they can get away with it. So the problem is it just because it's religious organizations? Well, we know that that's not the case. But what the hell is the case? We're gonna have a little bit of talk through some of that because, yeah, there's bits and pieces of this that's really disgusting and disturbing. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun, and I use large quotation marks again. Be that as it may, I did go looking for information about Rafe Badawi. Unfortunately, I don't have any new information. There are some more opinion pieces out there saying that Saudi Arabia is as barbaric as it has been in regards to human rights issues. And there's not a hell of a lot of anything that's really changed. So, as of the recording of tonight's show, it is currently 6 years, 8 months, 4 days since Rafe Badawi was unjustly incarcerated for thought crime. Our thoughts and our hopes are still with you and your family. We are still waiting. So I did put a news article in the show notes for this week. For those of you that went ahead and checked it from CNN. 380 Southern Baptist leaders and volunteers accused of sexual misconduct. And I will be honest, the only reason why I don't have half a page worth of those types of things is because I'm sorry. And I'm going to sound like I'm saying, do my homework for yourself. There have been far too many times where we've had to deal with exactly that problem. Most notably with the Roman Catholic Church, the Big Holy See. Pedophile Incorporated International, as some would like to call it. I am not saying that they are an international corrupt pedophile ring. I am saying that all signs point to yes, as some would say. So, that's just my opinion. And apparently the opinion of some other organizations, like, let's say, the police in Boston, I believe Ireland, New York is putting in an investigation, Pennsylvania, and now we've got this one specifically for the Southern Baptists. We know full well that there was sexual misconduct of various different descriptions at the, Jim Jones group. There was stuff down there in Waco, Texas. We've got the child brides for the Islamic areas and the Mormon church. Impropriety happens in a lot of different ways and for a lot of different reasons. But when you're dealing with the society at large, it disgusts me to find out how many of these holier than thous just go ahead and use their positions of authority to further their own loins. And that really, really drives me nuts because, well, let's face it, kids. So we're going to have a little bit of a discussion about all this stuff. Brigid, I need to hit you first off on this one because I know full well that we've talked on too many damned occasions about your religious upbringing and how all too well the Quiverful movement and how incredibly insane that avenue is.
Yeah, where would you like me to start?
How about we start off with the Quiverful, because that is a level of, I can't exactly call it corruption so much as
Coercion.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Sure. It's a very patriarchal society, and women have no agency of their own. Men hold the absolute power of the family. And the sad thing about being, the mother of the family is if you have any sons, they also have I don't know what you would call it. They outrank the mother. The woman is the least in those groups, and any female children. But the men have all the power, and they wield it horribly. Some of them.
It
Open to a lot of abuse.
It doesn't sound too different from the Mormons, where a male child at 13 will have more authority than his mother.
Mm-hmm.
And while I've got a couple of seconds of pause over here, UnrenownedTech, you were able to make it. Good morning.
Good morning. You know, there is a positive to the insanity of the Quiverful movement, that they view infertility as being what God dictates, and so therefore many who are infertile refuse to get infertility treatments because they see that as trying to assert God's authority. So thankfully, some of them aren't reproducing.
Yeah, but then that ends up being into the whole
you must not be worthy if you can't have children, and for their abuse, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely abuse.
Because you're just a horrible person if God won't favor
maybe you're
you.
not praying hard enough or doing it enough.
Yep.
Maybe you're not praying the right way, you know.
Well, it's always the woman's fault, always.
Oh, of course. Even
Well,
though guys can run into infertility problems, especially depending on their age.
Yep.
Yeah, not to mention, I mean, let's be frank, guys.
I want to be frank. I want to be tech.
Okay, fine. You be tech.
Be
and
tech.
Guys, just between you and me, I know the odds are actually not in your favor for the whole getting somebody pregnant, but come on, even by random chance, you should be able to hit the right hole 33% of the time. I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
What? You know how percentages work.
Yes, I do. I didn't realize you were going that route. Wow.
It's true.
Yes. And luckily, I have a very smart child who doesn't buy into this stuff.
Yes. And Stephanie's got a really good point. The real good thing about Quiverful is the number of children who wake up and walk away. But sadly,
there's still a lot of, they wake up, but they've already been abused. They've already been, there's large cases of molestation. There's power struggles amongst the kids, because they end up, there's many cases where older kids will be put in charge of younger kids, and that creates a power dynamic that's not healthy for a family environment.
Yeah, and funny enough, wasn't there a news article not too very long ago, like, I don't know, I think it was last week, where a youngster was put in charge of a younger youngster and ended up dying because being punished for not memorizing biblical quotes.
Hey, look, let's bury this person in snow.
Yeah, so that kind of thing happens. And the reason why it showed up in the news recently is because they're finally being brought up on charges of, I don't even remember what the hell it was, and the death actually occurred months ago.
You see,
so
the pro-lifers are pro-birthers, because if they were pro-life, they'd be in favor of laws where if somebody's child died due to neglect, specifically neglect that can definitely be traced back to the parents' treatment of the said child, then they would want those parents punished. The only problem is then that's where they start getting in trouble for not vaccinating, or they bury their kid in snow, those sorts of things. So they're pro-birth, not pro-life.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading the can of my Bastard Ale, and
you got a what?
Yeah, I bought a single of Arrogant Bastard Ale.
That's neat.
Yeah.
How does it taste? Does
From
it make you taste arrogant?
From the backside, quote, "This is an aggressive beer."
So an IPA.
You probably won't like it. 2 for 2. It is quite doubtful that you have the taste or sophistication to be able to appreciate an ale of this quality and depth. Okay, I'll go with that. That's a fair cut. We would suggest that you stick to safer and more familiar territory. Maybe something with a multi-million-dollar ad campaign aimed at convincing you it's made little brewery, or you know what? I don't like beers, so that doesn't even. I deal with a locally owned vineyard, so yeah. This isn't wow. Okay, you guys know full well I sip on camera so you can see it. You saw the last sip that I took a minute, 2 minutes ago, almost at this point, and I've still got the taste very highly bitter in my mouth. Oh, this is not. No, this is no.
Just because something's bitter doesn't make it good, unless you like bitter.
Yeah.
Just like sour drinks. If you like sour drinks, you're going to love sour drinks.
Yeah. So I had 2 sips, and I put it aside to my left side, which is under the microphone arm, because I won't go reaching for it there. And I tried one more sip.
Ugh.
No, this is no. This is no. Dalan, hey man, you want it? You're welcome to come over and get it. It's not going to happen to me. So I'll just stick with what's left of my. God, that taste is still in my throat. Oh. Okay, so now we know that yeah, that's not gonna no. That was definitely going on to the not gonna drink that one again. I'm not even gonna volunteer to try that one again. No, you know full well I've had a couple where it's just been like, yeah, okay, you know, I'll get through it, but all right, just to get through it. No, man, no.
Ooh, this is disgusting. More disgusting than your beard.
So yeah, I had 3 sips out of this. It's not happening.
There's a ministry called Blessed Arrows Sterilization Reversal Ministry. It's run by Brad and Dawn Irons, and the couple advocates for quiverful ideas while providing funding, physician referrals, and support to Protestants wishing to undergo sterilization reversal surgery. So if you basically got your tube snips, this is to get them unsnipped. And they're saying that sterilized couples have cut off children and should devote themselves instead to raising up godly seed. It's like, really? Don't we have enough of an overpopulation problem on this planet?
Yes, no. What we've got is a distribution problem, really. But be that as it may, it wouldn't be bad to scale back a little bit. I mean, but that's a whole other thing. Anyway, break out the wine. You know what? I'm actually considering it. I am actually considering it, but that means that I would have to get up, leave, go get it, and come back, and it would be room temperature. And no, I'll just wait for that. Anyway, but the thing about Quiverful though is it's just
insanity.
Well, one of the pieces about Quiverful is that if you are female and you get married, you are expected to, well, I know it's hyperbole, but Brigid, it may be hyperbole, but it's not too far from the truth. You're expected to pump out kids until your uterus falls out along with the last kid.
Yep. Exactly. As many as you possibly can.
because you're trying to make yourself a new little army or a softball team, whichever comes first.
Army of God.
Yeah.
Wasn't that 18 and counting or something like that?
19 and counting.
19 and counting.
Was that all single births or were there like duplicates?
I think she did have a couple of sets of twins, but most of them were single.
Yeah, it's just nuts. Speaking of little army barracks, by the way, Joey, good morning.
Look, I don't care how many kids she had. That is not the name for my mother's vagina.
Good morning is not the name for your... Never mind.
It's a vagina. It's not a clown car.
You wouldn't
Granted, my mother didn't have that many. But
apparently a clown did pop out.
That's not where I was going with that. You're so mean.
But the setup was there. Let's admit it. There was a perfectly lined up target.
No.
But it wasn't intentional.
No.
It may not have been intentional, but it was there.
The comment was little army barracks. And while my mother was not a member of the Quiverful group, she was unfortunately married to a Roman Catholic. And, well, we all know how they feel about contraceptives.
Well, all right.
Monty Python did a song about that.
Yeah, let's... Oates and Garfunkel also did one, but that's a whole other thing for later. So really quickly, let's go ahead and make mention briefly to the whole what do Catholics say and what do Catholics do. Catholics say you're not supposed to use contraception. You're not supposed to abstain when you're married. You're supposed to, take whatever God gives you. Yeah, about that.
Yeah. Then, of course, there's always, Saturday night and Sunday morning.
I was saying at least Catholics could use the rhythm method. Quiverful can't even do that.
You know what doctors call ladies who practice the rhythm method?
Mom.
Exactly.
Yep. And that's the thing, isn't it? That so many of these groups, especially in the religious area, they say what you should be doing and should not be doing behind closed doors. And behind closed doors, in this case, I actually mean your front door, your garage, and the back door. Don't go there yet. The idea is, inside of your own house, they want to know what it is that you do. More importantly, they want to dictate what it is that you do inside of your own house. And these not just the sex part either.
And these are guys who don't have sex, but go and molest children. And then they tell you how to live your life. And the shit out of Texas. Yeah.
That's the entire point of it. It's them telling you what to do.
Yep, very much
so. And I'm pointing out the absurdity of a pederast telling me how to have sex with a woman when they can't keep their hands off little boys.
Hey, but you're not supposed to think about things like that. You're not supposed to think.
I'm sorry, I have a brain. I like to use it from time to time. Not all the time, as evident on the show, but sometimes.
But it's evil.
Yeah, well, he's just evil in general. That's just part of it.
I am evil. I'm only 6'5" evil. Lesser evil.
I'm speaking from the point of view of the people who make those rules.
Oh, I know. By the way, Stephanie, quite right. In Europe, okay, we've got to take this one apart because there's a couple of things here. In Europe, even in Ireland, they ignore the teachings of the Pope about this. First off, as far as Ireland is concerned, good, because you remember we've talked on too damned many occasions about that one poor young lady doctor who knew what was happening to her and needed needed an abortion to protect her life. And oh, look at that. We're a Catholic country. Can't get an abortion. Oh, she's dead? Sorry. Yeah, there's that. And part two, Ireland, part of Europe? Oh, wait, that's right. I'm sorry. It depends on how you look at it, because Ireland is still part of the EU at this point, isn't it? I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. Is that a sore subject for anybody else?
Well, not Northern Ireland.
Well, didn't exactly differentiate. Well, didn't say one or the other. You know what? Whatever. I'll take it back.
Northern Ireland certainly isn't part of the EU anymore.
Yeah, well, there's a whole bunch of shitstorm going on over that way, and anyway, that's another topic for another day, because oh my God, what the hell is going on with you people? And I'm not saying you people, the public. I mean you people as in the people in positions of authority who are being dicks. But that's a whole other thing.
And we have Trump.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're in no better shape. Oh, and Mike Pence. That was great. He went to that Munich conference and mentioned President Trump and was greeted with beautiful, glorious silence. I love it. Love it. I love it. I love it.
I have to say that I find that somewhat disappointing, because I was thinking if anything could make the German people laugh.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna go.
He makes a good point. He makes a damn good point. The irony, the level of irony. They were laughing so loud they were supersonic. We couldn't hear them with our human ears.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Joey knows this one. Don't mention the war. Don't bring up the war. I didn't. Yes, you did. When you invaded Poland.
No.
No. I know.
Don't mention the war. I mentioned it once. I think I got away with it.
It's kind of what I heard someone say about.
Well, you started it. No, I did not. Yes, you did. No, we did not. Yes, you did. You did when you invaded Poland.
Yes, for those of you that don't know what we're making reference to, it's faulty towers, flowery twats. Sorry, shit. I'm doing this. If you don't know what, you know what? Shit. Somebody. I'll make a note for myself to put.
The French. They laugh at German jokes.
So hold on, because I have to give. I don't know if the Germans came up with this, but there is a joke involving Germany that I find quite funny, for reasons that have nothing to do with the war.
Okay.
Do tell.
So this couple adopts a German baby.
That's not very funny yet.
And the baby never speaks. He gets to be 5 years old, and his parents are wondering, what is wrong? Is he dumb? Is he deaf? So they take him to a doctor and have all these tests run on him to see if there's anything wrong. And near as they can tell, he's in perfect health. They get home, and the mom gives the baby a, what's the German pastry called again? I can't remember. I honestly don't remember.
Strudel.
Strudel, yes. Gives him a strudel. And he says, Mother, this strudel is quite tepid. And his parents react, oh my God, you talked. Why didn't you say anything sooner? Well, up until now, everything was satisfactory. No, nothing.
I was chortling with my microphone off.
That is, wow. Holy crap.
Hey, admit it. That's German if ever there was one.
Wow. God, it's like I want to whip out a dead baby joke at this point. Just to Trying to
lighten the mood.
a little bit.
Thanks, appreciate that.
Why did that baby cross the road? It was stapled to chicken.
Okay, Joe.
I
think
knew
the
that
biggest-
one.
Yeah, Joe.
Why-
I think I will go on record. I will go on record as saying that the problem with your joke for me is the timing. If you'd synchronize it better with the trains, things would be much better for me, and I would appreciate that.
Oh, jeez, dude.
Eat my ass.
Ugh. Well,
You're
if you're gonna have stewed donkey, sure, let's do it.
I am going to hell. I am going to hell, and I'm going to be holding open the door for the rest of you fuckers.
Well, at least we'll be in good company.
Yeah.
I like Felis. Can I go now?
No, you're stuck with us, and there's not a hell of a lot of anything. Okay, so back to talking about vaginas falling apart from overuse, because apparently that's a thing. All right,
A situation that's not at all satisfactory.
No, it is not. Where I was going with the whole damn thing is that what is it about these groups who have whatever social standing, whatever authority, for whatever reason, I'm not even quite sure what the right terminology would be for it. These positions of authority, why do they find it necessary to invade into people's private lives? Because it's not just the sex thing. It's about what you can wear. It's about how often you should worship whomever, wherever. It's about what you can eat.
It's a virus.
Exactly. That's the whole point of it, because the following, they have no clue how to survive using their own thoughts, value, judgments, whatever. They've never learned how to survive, so they need to be told what to think, because they've never learned for themselves, and they've been kept from learning how.
Religion
And it does work like a virus. I mean, it's if you consider the whole thing, it's amazing how evil it is, because the reason they need women to pump out as many children as they can is because they're going to remove all of their faculties, their ability to survive for themselves. So, to make the propagation, to give it as much chance as possible, well, you have to put out as many children as possible. And
that also makes the tribe bigger.
Well, yeah, it makes the tribe bigger, and
if you've got a bigger tribe than the other tribe, and your tribe is all of the same mind, and the other tribe's not, then you make it keep bigger until you can take out the other tribe or scare the other tribe away or whatever, and then
that's how wars come about.
Yeah, exactly. And how many wars are either resource or religion?
Well, no, it's not even like that. If you can think for yourself, like anyone who can think for themselves, how many people like this want other people's shit?
I don't want other people's
shit. Nobody wants somebody else's shit. They don't think that, but if your ability to survive comes from another human who says, and you're not able to judge anything for yourself, and it comes from this other human, you depend on this other human who tells you there is a danger, and it's this, and you have no choice but to obey. Your survival depends on it, and that goes profoundly into your subconscious. A lot of people who are afflicted with this virus, which is called childhood, by the way, because normally we're supposed to transition out of that state, but they don't even understand why they're behaving the way they do, and that's why it's so impossible to reason with them.
Yeah, because for them it's just always been that way, and why would you think that it shouldn't be? Because
they don't know any other way. Dunning-Kruger.
No. It's not Dunning-Kruger on this one.
Well, I know it's yeah, you're right, but I mean Dunning-Kruger. I mean Dunning not being aware of your own ignorance. not being aware of option C. Well, your very survival depends on option A and B, which has been given to you, quote unquote. But it's like it's in ignorance.
Well, and the thing you have to keep in mind too is it's the men who are making the decisions, whether it be clergy or the head of the house or whatever.
It
And
all start.
I guarantee you that if the men had to have all of the babies and have to worry about vaginal prolapse and all those fun things, no, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
For me,
I'm gonna.
that's where it all started. I mean, as soon as we stopped living the hunter-gatherer lifestyle, men lost their dominant role, and this kind of shutting down thought, shutting down not dissonance, shutting down discord. No, because the men had the position of authority before, because the men had to go out and hunt. I mean, our entire evolution depended on that. But as soon as we started farming and became more sedentary, men lost their dominant role. So this is inventing these rules, this kind of social hierarchy and all that is what they did to maintain their position of quote unquote privilege. It's all about, whether it be the head of a religion or, or men or whatever, it's maintaining a position of quote unquote authority and control where they do nothing to deserve it. They do nothing to merit that position. It's maintaining an illusion, basically.
Yeah, I was thinking about something else a little bit before, but Stephanie, hold that thought one second. Stephanie is saying, "Oh boy, somebody has not studied hunter-gatherers where people who do not conform do not live long." I can't go looking for the information right away right now because I will end up tappity through the microphone because I've been told I end up tappity through the microphone when I do that. But if memory serves, not too very long ago, within the last 2, maybe 3 months, if I remember correctly, there was a discovery of the skeleton, I'm going to go with skeleton bones of someone who seemed to have been operated on, for lack of a better way of putting it, putting holes in their head in order to help work on something, or some other signs of medical trauma. But they seem to have, from the indications, seem to have lived quite a number of additional years, but would not have been in a physical position to be very helpful in that area, leading folks to think that it's possible that someone in an infirm position who could not help with the hunter-gathering so much might have been helped by the society to continue to live and give something back to everyone else that way. Now, I know you could be making reference to societally conforming. I know, which is a different animal, but it's really difficult to try to figure how the social structures could have been at those times because of the way that it's hard to find that part out.
Thought conformity and behavior conformity is two different things.
Yeah, and they don't always jibe together. They do sometimes diverge. Sometimes they still work together. It's hard to know which could be and which can't be. So I don't know that. If they all go out hunting and one does not come back, so no questions asked. That can happen. As a matter of fact, there are games. Well,
the whole dynamic was different then, because before, they would teach a kid until a certain age, and then at one point or another, this kid was expected to take all that he had learned and learn to use it for himself, use his own value judgments, and that would determine his survival. As far as hunting is concerned, the social hierarchy, that's something completely different. Within the clan. You may have the alpha male who may be heading the clan, and well, to question him would be probably a physical standoff. But yeah, well, things are much different then. Oh, by the way, anthropology was my second major, so
Okay. And Joey, considering what he was just saying, being brought up and taught up until a certain age, I believe it was about, what was it, about 8 or 10 years old, where a Spartan was just sent out and said, yeah, come back in a couple of weeks.
the Australian Aborigines also, they had the walkabout. They send the kid out, and if he doesn't come back, then too
I
bad.
don't know the specific age that they sent young men out, but I'm not sure 8 was quite. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I just remember that it was young, and some came back, and well, anyway, that's a whole other thing for a little bit later. But be that as it may, as far as to the everybody goes out hunting and some don't come back, no questions asked. I'm sorry, my Italian heritage says that you're directly referring to me in connections to the mafia, of which there are none. There is no connection between myself and the mafia. I
So you
think.
say?
Well, you know how it works. If you are connected to the mafia, you don't say that you're connected to the mafia, because that would be stupid.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Never talk about Fight Club.
Yeah, never saw that. I know the routine, but anyway.
But back then, it's interesting because if you didn't come back from this initiation, you're of no use to the tribe. They actually, so it's quite the opposite. That survival required independent thought.
Yeah. Okay. Oh.
Whereas these days, that we've retained the tribal mentality without the independent thought.
Okay. I just don't have anything to add on to that one.
Yeah.
And being that
kind of hard to fit into any box.
Fine. It's fine. It's just a matter of that, I've got. Oh, for the love of Christ. Am I going to have this problem?
Is it those Klingons again?
No. God damn it.
Battery.
Yeah, my UPS clicked because of a power thing.
Probably a brown.
That's not a good thing, because this thing has a tendency not to want to kick back onto the power mains.
Why do you use it then?
Because normally it's supposed to be working, and this is a rather expensive piece to replace.
But you've been having this problem since, what, almost 2 years now? Anyways, yeah, sorry.
Well, no. The point of the UPS is doing its job. The issue is that, his electrical grid is not doing its job. Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
He's muted.
Sorry. It got
He's muted
real
so we
quiet.
don't all hear the beeping.
I heard the beeping already.
Oh, I saw a hat.
Was it red or blue?
No, it's not a MAGA hat.
I didn't say MAGA. You're insinuating that I'm going to.
Sorry.
The UPS or universal, is it universal power supply?
Uninterruptible
There
power supply.
you go. There you go. It's beeping not because there's a fault with it. It's beeping to let you know, hey, everything's running on me right now. I'm not getting power from somewhere.
Yep. And what's really fun is when you have a server room that you're in charge of, and the whole power in the building goes down, and all the battery packs go off, and all the alarms kick in. It's just like, this is what having a child is like.
Yeah, if you want a definition for cacophony.
Okay. So here's what I got to do. Because I am not getting a readout as far as to how much power is actually running, I'm going to have to shut down and restart the computer in order to break the UPS's power requirement. So what I've done at the moment, for the moment, Brigid, you currently have control to share with me so that we don't lose the show running. At least I'm hoping. I'm going to try to be back as quickly as I can. If worse comes to worse, I will put a I've got 8 minutes left of time. That's just freaking perfect. Okay, worst case scenario, I will restart the show if necessary, but with any luck, I won't have to. I will be back as quickly as I can. In the meantime, I'm turning control over to you, Brigid, and I will be back as quickly as I can.
Okay.
See, what people don't realize is, especially ones watch anyone who watches the show or in general, is that one of the nice things about having an uninterruptible power supply, even assuming for the moment you're running your monitor, your computer, and a bunch of other stuff off of it, power kicks out and it only has a 5-minute lifespan. That's 5 minutes for you to save your work and do a graceful shutdown, or just regular shutdown, whatever you want to call it. But without it, and the power goes out, you've lost whatever work you've worked on. You've potentially lost your files. Your hardware takes a hit in terms of its lifespan. Depending on what's caused the power problem, it could actually literally take a physical hit with the electricity, causing problems.
But what I don't understand about the Shujin's unit is that its lights are still on, the power's not off.
So more than likely what's happening is there's the unit itself is not in its prime. And so whatever is built into it that's supposed to trip back over to recognizing, hey, the mains is back to normal, everything's working, may not be doing that. The other thing that could be happening is that it's actually doing its job accurately right now. Your power can dip. And if your power goes below a certain amount, a lot of UPSs will kick in, because if you're receiving less than what you're supposed to be for your computers and such, that actually puts a strain on the power supplies. My job was to make sure that every single machine in the server room was always receiving appropriate power, proper cooling, and a bunch of other things. So
one of those things in a home situation is set much differently than something in a server environment.
Yeah, but here's
but
the thing.
We're not going to make the show about
your,
that, are we?
No.
No.
When you rely on your computer, it's something that's good to have. I have one myself over here.
Because in a house, if you know anything about electricity, any housing electric, you're going to have dips all the time. Like when somebody, upstairs turns on the stereo and all the living room lights at the same time. So if that's going to trip off your machine, because you've got one power source for the entire house. It
depends on how much it dips and for how long.
Yeah, normally these UPS things, they're not supposed to trip if it's going to be only a slight dip. It's like a permanent brown. It's going to start going off.
The alarm might not trip, right? But they'll trip by stabilizing the electricity.
Well, they'll stabilize the electricity. That's a secondary, because it's basically a huge capacitor. Mm-hmm. But no, I think you see what I'm saying. A slight dip should not turn.
I wasn't talking about. In one scenario, it may be tripping, and then it's forgetting it's not tripping back to normal.
Yeah, there's a lot of hypothesis here.
Of course.
Yeah, but it shouldn't do that.
Anyways, you're correct.
Anyways, yeah, I hope he solves this problem.
Okay.
All I know is I didn't do it.
Yeah, find the solution to every problem. Find someone to blame it on.
Yeah, the other part of the quiverful that keeps it going isn't just the viral religious aspect of it. It's there's also a lot of homeschooling that goes on. So you're not getting the education that you need for critical thought. You're not being you more than likely a lot of your education is being missed out on. So it's amazing that people manage to actually get out of that situation and still succeed in life.
I call that survival through imitation. But, you know,
Well, if
and
you
it-
look
and
at
you're,
the
you're
if
oh,
you look
sorry.
at the study curriculum from those programs, they all reinforce those ideals. As
It's
far
not
as
an ideal, it's a dictate.
well, I mean, as far as their ideal of having, the God is head of the church is over the man is over the women and children.
Yeah.
That
It's setting a behavior pattern. And
Mhm.
and Tech was completely right in saying it's a virus. It's a virus. I mean, I can write computer code that propagates itself in the same way. And it's only a few lines. It's almost scary.
And the worst part is it'll